Well, the root of the word inauguration is meant to mean the beginning or introduction of something. And while today does mark the beginning of Donald Trump's second term as president of the United States, it could hardly be considered an introduction. More kind of like, well, I guess a continuation with 4 gap years, kind of like how some of us did college, maybe. Tens of thousands gathered in the nation's capital to hear Trump introduce himself and his early policy plans for America. And sprinkled among the crowd were Idaho's congressional delegation, Idaho's Governor Brad Little, and an Idaho woman from Star. Aspen Shumpert spoke with her about what it was like to witness history.
It was a big day in Washington, D.C. as President Donald Trump was sworn into office. Idaho state leaders were there to hear President Trump's inauguration, including Idaho Governor Brad Little, who shared in a statement he's ready to work hand in hand with President Trump. Senator Mike Crapo also shared similar support, telling us in a statement that he's ready for a change and the work ahead. But it wasn't just state leaders at the nation's capital.
People are walking around with red, white, and blue hats on and dresses and scarves, and it's very patriotic. People are really showing their love for the country.
Liz Flower sits on the Star Chamber of Commerce board and was also in Washington, D.C.
It has been just an experience of a lifetime.
Flower used to live in California, and an invite from her friends who are members of the California GOP got her a ticket.
You know, I jumped at the opportunity because, again, it's so important for me to move forward with our country in such a positive way. I mean, we're talking about a new golden age.
Flower arrived on Friday attending balls and other events and meeting who she calls celebrities.
I was able to meet Rick Perry, Ted Cruz. You connect with these people when you watch the news, but you don't really have an opportunity to connect with them until you meet them in person. We tried to get to the, It was the rally last night. We had tickets, and unfortunately, there were so many people in line, we just didn't make it.
Flower and her friends had tickets to the inauguration, which was originally planned to be outside on the plaza. But since it was moved inside due to weather, plans changed.
A lot of the tickets now are simply commemorative. They're not able to be used. But, you know, all in all, we got to see our new president. We got to listen to his speech, and we're just all very proud Americans right now.
Instead, they watched it in a private room.
We were steps from the Capitol. We were in the Rayburn building in the Gold Room, which is where they house a lot of the representatives.
Flower says it's something she'll remember and cherish.
Listening to, the songs, it was very moving. Quite frankly, we watched In with the New, Out with the Old.
I asked if she ran into any Idaho state leaders and lawmakers. Flower says she hasn't yet, but she's determined to find them since she'll be there for the next several days. She did say a lot of the events have changed with the weather and some things needing to get worked out. So she hasn't made it to everything she's wanted to, but determined to make it to at least one more ball here in the next several days.
Is she disappointed it got moved indoors? I mean, it kind of limited her access a little bit, right?
Yeah, it did, and she did originally have tickets to be out on the plaza, but she seemed very pleased with the experience, didn't have a bad word to say.
Okay, all right, thanks, Aspen.